Hey everyone, so for those of you who don't know, I think Lockdown mentioned this in one of his recent videos, but some of the content creators got a server in order to create content on, basically. So right now I'm kind of on that account, just trying to play around and just work on some different things. I'm hoping to bring you guys some great film moving forward. I have a lot of ideas and now I have the means of actually making them happen. And I'm so excited about that. It means I can make my own film. It means I won't have to get as much community film. Not saying I won't use some every now and then, but I'm pretty excited that now I can go about crafting anything that I really want, within reason, of course. And the main thing that it eats up is time. So right now, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more content and information. So this video is actually going to show you, and I'm going to break down the numbers on how much it costs to get a perfect weapon. So the type of weapon that I'm going for is a double attack crit up rampage weapon with perfect attack. So this weapon is going to cause me headaches, and I know it's caused a lot of people in the game headaches as well. I am leaving on a very large bonus to AP when attacking, because as long as you're using a huge AP leader, you're going to be fine without having to actually craft a huge bonus to AP when attacking. This type of weapon does need to be used with a Dr. Stevens on the team if you're looking to rush it fast, but I can now break down to you how much it actually costs, me at least, in order to get this ideal weapon. And it is so frustrating. So every time that I don't get the correct craft, so like in this case, I wanted to get 45% attack, 50% attack, and so on, I will recraft, I will reset the weapon, even if it's Rampage already, but it's just to prove a point on how expensive it can be to get the perfect weapon. So for this whole craft, it ends up taking me 63 blowtorches. So that means I made 63 crafts on this single weapon, where realistically, if everything worked out perfectly, there should only be 6 crafts, if it was perfect. But of course, it never really is. Instead, I used over 10 times that amount, 10 and a half times technically, at 63 crafts. And of course, with blowtorches, it makes everything instant, instead of having to wait, one day, a day and a half, or however long it is. So if we were to assume that each craft took a day and a half, that would be 94.5 days. Basically 95 days or 3 months of time to get that perfect weapon. That would be assuming every craft is only a day and a half. If every craft was 1 day, then it's 63 days, which is still about 2 months. If we average those two out so that it's, half of them are 1 day, half of them are 1.5 days, that is 79 days, which is 2.5 months. So to get that perfect weapon, it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of patience, especially if you don't have blowtorches. And in my opinion, because one of the only places to get free blowtorches is in arenas, it makes sense for people to be dropping in arenas to play in easier areas of a game, because if it takes 3 months to get the craft that you want to get that perfect weapon, well, it is advantageous to drop down and to win in lower leagues. And then if we move on to the armoury tokens, and we're talking just about, the crafting part of it, it actually ends up being 536,000 tokens needed to craft this weapon. And then we have to add on, of course, the resets as well as the 50k that it takes in order to upgrade your weapon from a 4-star to a 5-star. So combining the 536,000 tokens that I used to upgrade this weapon perfectly, the 52,000 tokens used for resets, and the 50,000 in order to upgrade this weapon from a 4-star to a 5-star, that is 638,000 tokens needed to get the perfect weapon. We also used 975 of those 5-star parts that are needed when trying to get Rampage or double attack on it. We used 63 blowtorches, as I mentioned. We used 46 greases, 46 varnishes. We used 1,382,400 wood, but that does not include all the free parts that you need in order to craft, the 5% attack upgrades and stuff. I just excluded that because you can craft those instantaneously. We used 14 duct tapes, 14 polish kits, and we used 8 fluids, 8 not nail files, but the files that you need also for upgrades. The point is, it takes forever for these weapons to craft. It costs a lot of tokens and a humongous amount of time. Unless you're spending on this, it's going to take most players like 1 or 2 months to get that perfect weapon, and you really just have to settle for something that isn't perfect sometimes. As soon as you get that 3rd slot craft or that 4th slot craft that you want, just keep going with it. Even if it doesn't end up critting, it's not worth all the resets because no one has all those tokens. 638,000 tokens is an enormous amount. The most amount you can buy, and it's I think about $100 American, maybe $120 American, you get 120,000 tokens, which would mean you'd have to buy it 5.3 times or 6 times. So that's like $600 worth if it's 100, or it's $720 if it's $120 for the package. And when we factor in like raid tournaments, for example, the top player gets 80,000 tokens. People below that get 50,000, 35,000, 25,000, 15,000, 10,000. It's just not enough. I think in the last faction raid, the winning faction got 18,500 tokens each. And it's such a small amount. With it costing 50,000 tokens to make a weapon from a 4-star to a 5-star, you have to save a long time. Not just that, you need to hope that you get the right crafts, and if you're trying to swap out a bound weapon, it also means you need another 50,000 tokens to upgrade that bound weapon from a 4-star to a 5-star. In most raid events, even the milestones, I'm not even sure if you get 10,000 tokens from reaching all milestones up to 2,400 raid trophies. So I'm not sure how you can expect yourself, or really any player, whether you pay or not, to have that many perfect weapons on your team unless you invest a ton. And if you get lucky, so much of this depends on luck. And it's frustrating whenever you get that 3% upgrade on a weapon. Everything else is perfect except for that part. But in my opinion, you kind of have to live with it, because unless you want to keep on resetting and spending, you're going to have a lot of imperfect weapons. The odds are just not there to have something come out exactly the way you want it to. Like, I'm even using the method here because I have unlimited supplies on this playtest account, where I am using the crit territory from the territory event. We are sitting on the success territory, which I could probably drop. Now, when I'm going for the 5% upgrade, I am only using crit upgrade parts, and I'm not using any of the success ones, only because I want to give my weapon the highest chance of critting, because I'm going to get a lot of successes, but I would rather fail the craft right now and not get a weapon that I have to reset, basically. I would rather just keep using extra crit on my weapon to try and get that 5% bonus, because if it ends up failing, it means I don't have either, but it also doesn't take up a weapon slot. I would only really recommend this method if you have a lot of blowtorches and stuff, because it can be very expensive and pricey, and sometimes it still doesn't work. You can see that I'm even crafting with a 73% chance at a critical success, because we have the 2 critical territories plus the 3rd special 6-star critical territory for weapons. So the odds are really stacked against you. At least that's what it feels like. Even when you get a critical success on the 4th or the 3rd slot, you don't know which one you're going to get. It definitely feels like the double attack with plus 20% attack and crit, and then also Rampage, are at a much lower rate of actually getting that specific craft. It seems like although you have a high chance of having a critical success, it doesn't let you choose which one you have. Because in theory, Rampage could be that 1%, while the other 3 crit successes are 33% each, which make up 99% of the time. When you have a critical hit on your weapon, it will be one of those 3 that you don't want instead of the one that you do. So congratulations to anyone who has some perfect weapons. I have no idea how you did it, but congrats. And thank you everyone for watching and listening to my video.